The shockwaves are already being felt across the sports world. FIFA, the global powerhouse that runs the World Cup, is quietly moving matches that were supposed to happen in the United States to Canada. That's right. What was meant to be one of the biggest sporting spectacles in American history is now slipping away, and the fallout could cost U.S. cities billions in lost revenue, corporate deals, and international prestige. Before we dive deep, make sure to subscribe, tap the like button, and hit that bell icon so you never miss an update on stories that the mainstream media won't break down like we do here. How the 2026 World Cup was supposed to be America's moment. The 2026 FIFA World Cup was billed as a historic event for North America. For the first time ever, 3 countries, the United States, Canada, and Mexico, would share hosting duties. Early plans had the US as the main stage, hosting the majority of the matches, including the most high-profile games and the final itself. US cities were preparing for record-breaking tourism, packed stadiums, and a flood of corporate sponsorship deals. Hotels were making upgrades, transportation hubs were adding capacity, and local governments were organizing security on a scale never seen before for a sports event. For American fans, it wasn't just about soccer, it was about showing the world that the US could still organize the biggest events on Earth, blending entertainment, infrastructure, and global culture like no one else. The expectation was that this would be a once-in-a-generation showcase that would leave a lasting economic and cultural legacy. FIFA's growing concerns about the US can deliver the tournament as promised. Site inspections have revealed construction delays, incomplete planning for fan transport, and confusion over event security coordination. Part of the problem is political. Over the last few years, trade disputes, tariff wars, and increasingly strict visa requirements have made the US a more complicated place to host a truly global event. These issues affect not only fans but also players, journalists, and event staff from around the world. FIFA relies on seamless international travel. Fans from 50, 60, or even 100 countries need to be able to get to matches without bureaucratic nightmares. But right now, visa delays and entry restrictions are creating huge uncertainty for travelers. Some organizers fear that if these issues aren't resolved quickly, entire waves of international visitors might choose to skip the US altogether. Sponsorship dollars are already moving north. One of the most visible signs of trouble: money is leaving. A $15 million sponsorship package that was originally locked in for US venues has now been redirected to Canada. And it's not just about the money, it's about confidence in the overall hosting environment. In the high-stakes world of global sports marketing, that confidence is everything. Big corporations don't just invest in sports for advertising. They invest in stability and good optics. They want to be associated with events that run smoothly, attract huge crowds, and generate positive global coverage. With constant headlines about political disputes, stadium delays, and fan travel restrictions, the US is starting to look like a risk. Marketing executives are wary of tying their brand to an event that could be overshadowed by controversy or poor logistics. For Canada, this is a golden opportunity. Spectator islands threaten the fan experience. One term that keeps coming up in FIFA discussions is spectator islands. This is what happens when fans are essentially trapped in one location because travel between cities or across borders is too difficult. For a global tournament, that's a nightmare scenario. Imagine this: a group of soccer fans from Brazil flies into the US to watch a match in Los Angeles. They want to attend another match in New York 2 days later, but visa rules, domestic flight delays, and security red tape make it nearly impossible. They end up stuck in one city, missing out on the full tournament experience. Multiply that by tens of thousands of fans from dozens of countries, and you get a fragmented, disappointing event. For FIFA, this is unacceptable. The World Cup thrives on movement, fans traveling from city to city, creating a festival atmosphere everywhere they go. Merchants, street performers, and local events rely on that flow of people. The stadium construction and supply chain crisis. Another major headache. Infrastructure. Many US stadiums chosen for the World Cup are undergoing renovations to meet FIFA's strict requirements. That means new seating, upgraded turf, advanced security systems, and high-tech facilities for players and fans. But here's the problem: supply chain delays are pushing these projects behind schedule. Essential materials like steel, electronics, and even stadium lighting systems are facing months-long shipping delays. Some shipments are stuck in ports due to customs bottlenecks, while others are simply unavailable because of global shortages. Inflation is making construction costs soar, and labor shortages mean even when materials arrive, there aren't enough workers to finish the job quickly. Some venues are reportedly 3 to 6 months behind schedule, forcing contingency planning that FIFA doesn't want to deal with. The organization needs certainty, not, "we'll make it work somehow." If a stadium isn't 100% ready, from the grass to the VIP boxes, FIFA will have no choice but to shift matches to venues in other countries that are ready now. Canada and Mexico's competitive advantage. While the US struggles, Canada and Mexico are stepping up. Both countries already have multiple stadiums ready to meet FIFA standards, some of which have recently hosted major international tournaments. Mexico City's Estadio Azteca, for example, has twice hosted World Cup finals and remains a global football icon. Vancouver and Toronto have venues that need minimal updates compared to US stadiums still under construction. They also have experience hosting major global events, from Mexico City's long football tradition to Vancouver's 2010 Winter Olympics. Volunteers, security teams, and local governments in both nations are already well practiced at handling the demands of huge international crowds. Perhaps most importantly, both Canada and Mexico have more open border policies for event visitors. Fans can move between cities and countries with far less hassle than they face in the US. That flexibility makes the overall World Cup experience far more attractive for FIFA, as it ensures the tournament will feel like a truly united North American celebration rather than a patchwork of isolated events. The economic loss for US cities. If matches are relocated, the economic loss for American host cities will be massive. We're talking about billions of dollars in lost tourism revenue, ticket sales, hotel bookings, restaurant spending, and merchandise sales. For many cities, the World Cup was expected to be the single most profitable sporting event in decades. For local businesses, the World Cup was supposed to be a once-in-a-lifetime windfall. Hotels spent millions on renovations. Restaurants hired extra staff. Transportation companies invested in new vehicles. Souvenir shops stocked up months in advance. Now, those investments are at risk, and some small businesses may not survive if the projected crowds never arrive. And it's not just about money. There's also the long-term loss of prestige. Hosting a World Cup match puts a city on the global map. It can boost tourism for years, attract future events, and build an international brand. Losing that opportunity is a reputational blow that's hard to recover from, especially when rival cities in Canada and Mexico are poised to take that spotlight. America's soft power is at stake. In the end, this isn't just about soccer. It's about what the US represents to the rest of the world. For decades, America has been the go-to host for the biggest global events. From the Olympics to massive music festivals, the country has been seen as a place where the world comes together. The 2026 World Cup was supposed to reinforce that image. If FIFA moves matches away, it could be a sign that America's era as the world stage is fading. Other countries are ready to take its place, and they're proving they can deliver without the chaos. The shift could mark a symbolic moment when global organizations begin to see the US as less reliable, less flexible, and less able to unite diverse cultures under one event. That kind of reputational damage doesn't just affect sports. It influences trade negotiations, tourism campaigns, cultural exchanges, and even diplomatic relationships. For a country that has long prided itself on soft power, losing ground in this arena could have ripple effects for years to come. The big question is whether this is just a one-off situation or the start of a trend. If major events keep moving away from the US, the economic and cultural impact will be huge. For now, Canada and Mexico are celebrating. For the US, it's a moment of reckoning, a chance to fix these problems before the country loses even more of its global influence. Because make no mistake, the World Cup is more than just a game. It's a statement about readiness, trust, and the ability to unite the world. And right now, that trust is drifting north. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates. Your support helps us keep bringing you the stories that matter.